Hello, everyone, and welcome to Season 3, Episode 5 of the MFFL Nation Show. I am back at it again with Mavericks Digest, a.k.a. Unk. How's it going, my guy?
Hey, put some respect on my name, bro. Put some respect on my name. But nah, man, I appreciate you. Appreciate you bringing me here yet again. I
No,
appreciate
for sure, man. I'm excited to talk some Mavericks basketball. And, the first topic that I want to discuss, relevant to not just the Dallas Mavericks, but the NBA Finals, is how can the Dallas Mavericks get back to the NBA Finals based off of what we're seeing right now? And I think the most important thing is that you're going to have to most likely go through OKC to get back to the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
That's just how it's going to happen. And so my biggest needs, just overall, you need multiple ball handlers, multiple playmakers, and one more special thing, but I want to hear your thoughts on that.
I mean, you're right. And obviously, this is a Mavericks platform, and we got mad beef with OKC. But from a basketball, standpoint, just a fan of the game, like the Thunder are a good team. Like, yeah, they were the number one seed last year, but they lost to us. But we were a good team too. But they did it again. They were the number one seed this year. They actually made it to the finals this year. So you gotta give them their credit where credit's due. And even though they're down 2-1, I'm not counting them out just yet. After game 4, we can really see. But obviously, we're going to have to get through OKC, and watching both the Eastern and Western Conference teams go and through the series, I've been able to see what's working, what's not working. One of the things I've talked about on my channel is the double big man. I've been seeing it with a lot of teams, whether they've made it all the way or not, but that's what I'm seeing everywhere. I mean, the Pacers, Pascal Siakam, he's a power forward. He can play center for a little bit, but he's more a power forward. But him as well as Miles Turner. You look at OKC, like they obviously have Chet, but they also have Hartenstein. They also have the other J Dub, not the starter one, obviously. So having these bigs is kind of where the meta of basketball is slowly moving to, and is not necessarily needing that stretch big as everyone wanted for so long. A lot of teams are trying to go back to more traditional bigs, as the main reason why we're seeing everybody talk about Gafford getting traded, because teams need that, right? So obviously, I think for the Mavericks to make it back to the finals, we need to make sure that we keep our front court. AD, PJ, Gafford, Lively. Those 4 players are going to be very necessary come playoff time. They're very, not going to say they're all interchangeable, but you can plug them in wherever you need them, especially when AD slide to the 5, PJ going to 4. Like, we can do that. Ball handlers, we need more than one. I'd argue I'd love to have 3. When the Dallas Mavericks won their chip, we did have 3 ball handlers. So maybe we got to cook that recipe up again. And obviously, with Kyrie being out, we're going to have to wait. But if we can have a Kyrie, Brandon Williams, and whoever you do pick up in the offseason, or maybe even not that, Kyrie, Brandon Williams, and Najee as my 1, 2, and 3, put PJ at the 4, 80 at the 5, not too bad. Now that all is, predicated on the fact if Brandon Williams can keep up. He did play very well last season. He got a contract. He helped us out when we needed it, but it wasn't just a small sample size. It was every time he hit the court, you saw what he could bring. But we need to see that again this season. But I think that would be a pretty decent lineup. So playmaking, ball handlers, the double big man, but also you need yourself Dwight Powell. I'm just saying. Dwight Powell has survived longer than any current Dallas Maverick. The man is a World War II vet, a Vietnam vet. My man was down there in Guantanamo Bay. My man was at Bay of Pigs. My man just came back from Ukraine. Like, I don't know how Dwight Powell doesn't have PTSD from seeing everybody come and go. My man was there with Dirk, Luka, and Al Cooper Flag. He's seen it all.
You probably just put the biggest smile on Mavs Muse's face.
That's my guy. He knows what's up, and like all jokes aside, I think the third thing is good coaching. And that's not a shot at Jason Kidd. That's more so at the fact that who we've been hiring, right? Like, we just hired a new assistant coach. I think 2, actually. 2. And so making sure that our coaching staff is actually pretty decent to help Jason Kidd is very important. Jason Kidd is here. He's not going anywhere. We've already been through that whole debacle for like the last week, right? Like, all the rumors and reports every day, it seems like. So we have Jason Kidd, but we need to make sure that the people behind him are as competent, or at least close enough to being competent. And that's no shade to Jared Dudley, but some of these other guys, I think I trust them before I trust Jared Dudley. But watching the Pacers in particular in the finals shows me that coaching is so important, because Rick Carlisle, One of them ones, man. He's one of them ones. Showing everybody again who he really is.
He's one of them ones. And I think, I mean, we both hit the spot on it about ball handlers. And I think that's why Lonzo Ball is such an intriguing trade target this offseason. Man, if he's healthy, he's such a good basketball player. Yeah. I've seen, Club 520 podcast. It's one of my favorite pods. But they really just talk about, like, he does it all. He does it all. He doesn't need to have the ball in his hands. He just helps the offense. He's a great defender. So that's someone who I would love for the Mavs to target because if he stays healthy, I saw this like tweet go viral. And it was like the guy who tweeted last year, whoever gets Alex Caruso is winning the NBA Finals this year. He quote tweeted himself saying, whoever gets Lonzo Ball will win the finals next year. So it's just funny. But I think the third thing that I was saving, and honestly the most important thing, is that if you want to get past the OKC Thunder, obviously ball handlers, playmaking, you need PJ Washington on your team.
Yes.
I mean, I get like initially, like after the playoffs, people were like, we were all like, dude, like PJ Washington, OKC Thunder, like he owns them. They were changing like the
the Wikipedia page,
the Wikipedia pages and everything. And after seeing it again this regular season, he put up phenomenal performances against OKC Thunder this past regular season. So I think just having him on the team, once again, I think he's going to be very, very beneficial when he's able to close lineups at the 4 against the Thunder as well, because like we've said before, he's not someone who can guard SGA or a Luka prototype. He's someone that can guard a Chet, LeBron. Yeah. The guys who are more comfortable playing the 3 and 4 is what PJ can guard. So I think having PJ on the floor against the Thunder is very, very important. I want to get to the next topic. It has to do with it minorly. We'll get into it. So the New York Knicks formally requested to speak with Jason Kidd. The Mavericks denied it. A New York Knicks reporter, James L. Edwards III, reported that the Knicks might keep trying to pursue Jason Kidd still. I don't believe that's going to happen. I don't think Kidd's going anywhere. So, guys, don't take it how I'm saying it. But with that being said, Jason Kidd is going to be the coach most likely for the Dallas Mavericks for years to come. Do you think Jason Kidd is capable of getting the Dallas Mavericks their second title? I think so.
I want to say yes. But honestly, after the trade in February, I really wanted to see this team healthy because that can show me what Jason Kidd can do. Now, Jason Kidd has already impressed me in some of these games where we really should have lost because we ain't have nobody, finding ways to win. When you're a coach of a team that your entire offense was centered around one guy and then that guy's gone and you still have to coach like 20 plus more games for the season, how do you do it? But he was able to do it. And I'm sure over the summer, he's just hard at work. I'm hoping he's hard at work trying to redefine their offense. And obviously, it's going to be a more team ball-oriented offense, less heliocentric. But I do believe that Jason Kidd can get us. I mean, I think he can because he already did. He got us there once, right? And that was a team that, barely anybody had ever seen that deep of a run. I think only, Kyrie, Morris, and Derrick Jones Jr. were the only ones that hadn't ever seen a finals on our roster. So it's good to know that now, with the majority of the players still here from that finals run, and with Jason Kidd having that experience as a coach himself, we are better equipped. I do believe that Jason Kidd can do it, but it does depend on our health.
Yeah. It does. And I think what people don't really talk about enough is that Jason Kidd, I don't care what anyone says. I don't think we're ever going to get like actual proof of it. But Jason Kidd did not know about this Luka trade. So therefore, him not knowing about this trade, he's not able to game plan these double big lineups. Personally, I get you guys see my live tweets and everything. I joke around with the live tweets and stuff in game. If you guys actually follow the page and keep up with the page, you should know by now that I haven't judged Jason Kidd for a coaching game since December 25th, the day Luka got hurt.
Yeah. Christmas, yeah.
Because that's when it was just a total – it feels – yeah.
It hurt. It hurt.
Yep.
No, you're right. I mean, I think there was a video I made last year. I called him Jason Mid. But he is who he is, right? As a coach, he is who he is. And I think that I may have higher standards because I'm still thinking of Jason Kidd, the player. But he is who he is as a coach. And one thing is for sure, he is a playoff riser as a coach. He takes the playoffs way more serious. He knows what he's doing. I don't think that we failed last year because of a coaching issue. And so that's why I believe that he can do it. I truly do believe that he can do it. And now we have Anthony Davis. We have Cooper Flag. We got a whole bunch of good things going on. It can happen.
My thing is how do you not believe in him? Like, he's gone to the playoffs twice with the Mavericks as a coach. He's made the Western Conference Finals both times, the NBA Finals once.
Yep.
The first year, okay, we could – not the first year. I mean, when the tanking year happened, we got Lively. Yes, the year we traded for Kyrie.
Yeah.
We ended up getting Derek Lively. Okay, why? It is very, very often that teams that make power move trades in the middle of the season don't end up even making the playoffs or having poor playoff success. Point and Blake, perfect example. Not even going to say the Mavericks this year. Look at the Lakers.
Yeah.
They traded away a center, so they didn't have a center. So they got Luka, and they played against a Timberwolves team without no center. They barely played.
Rudy Gobert looked like prime Shaq.
Prime.
What?
Prime. So I'm not judging him off of that year when they traded for Kyrie because it took time for Luka and Kyrie to gel together. Guys, for Wings fans, it'll take time for Paige and Enrique to gel together, but
it'll be beautiful. It'll be beautiful.
It will. And then you look at this year, another trade, and it didn't work out immediately. So my expectation coming into next season is that it's going to work out. Obviously, Kyrie is not going to be playing in 2025, but he's going to be back during the regular season, probably near deadline, if I had to guess. No official statement on that, just my personal opinion. And I think the Mavs will be ready come playoff time. And I think with that being said, Jason Kidd is a playoff riser. I think if you can get yourselves in the playoffs as a decent seed, you believe from there because he hasn't given you any reason to doubt him in the playoffs. And if we're being honest, did he get that out-coached in the NBA Finals last year? Was it he got out-coached.
Yeah, but I don't think that was the glaring, I don't think that was the glaring issue, was the coaching. He did get out-coached. Like Joe Mazzulla was playing chess. My man's playing checkers with half the little pieces, right? But when Luka was our best three-point shooter and he still wasn't shooting that well, when Daniel Gafford had less rebounds than Drew Holiday, you know what I mean? Like there was a lot of things that was falling apart in that finals series. But I mean, to your point, you're right. A lot of people's gripes and complaints with Jason Kidd are very isolated incidences. And I can also agree that I do that as well. There'll be like 2 or 3 games where I'm like, this man stresses me out. But then there'll be like 2 weeks where I'm not even talking about Jason Kidd at all because he's fine. You know, so it's like, I don't know why fans do this. I don't even know why I do it. When he's fine, I'm not even worried about him. Cool. Thanks, Jason. But the moment he has a small little hiccup, it's like, kid, what's going on? Get off my team. You're horrible, right? But he's never failed us in the playoffs. If we're in the playoffs, we're in for a pretty good ride. And he's been doing a great job at that. So I trust Jason Kidd. I definitely hope for the fans' sake, but also for his own legacy that we do win, because winning as a player, then winning as a coach for that same team that you won before as a player, that's awesome.
I agree. I'm a Jason Kidd believer. A lot of people were mad at me when I was saying I wanted him to stay, and everyone wanted him to go to the Knicks. James L. Edwards III said there could be a scenario where the Knicks just end up offering a trade package that you can't deny, but I don't see the Knicks doing that. They already traded away.
What would that look like?
I don't know.
Realistically, like, what would that look like? Because I don't think we can trade Jason Kidd for a first-round pick, can we?
You could.
Okay, yeah. but they don't have first-round picks because they traded 5 Bridges. Yeah, so they don't have them. I don't know. I mean, jokingly, once I said, all right, cool, give me Josh Hart. Because I'm just thinking of like a guard, right? Like, but money, right? Because Jason Kidd's salary doesn't affect our cap space, but the player we get back does. So I don't know. Do we trade a player with Jason Kidd? Like, I don't know. I believe that there was maybe a drop of truth to this kid to New York rumors, but because he's on contract, I was like, he's not going anywhere. But it was also the fact that all we heard was the Mavericks will decline. They will decline. But you can't decline until you're asked. So until they asked, we couldn't really say anything. I can't say no before you ask because now I just look like I'm jumping the gun, right? And then you got rumors that, oh, Jason Kidd, it's mutual. So it's like, myself included, I wanted the organization to please say something. We're about to get Cooper Flag, and the last thing I want to hear from him is, hey, is Coach going to be here? Like, can we please clean this up before he shows up, right? But the morning that they asked, no, you've seen the reports. We're going to deny, done. You should have thought about who's gonna be your next head coach before you fire this one.
Back at the mutual interest thing, and this is no shot at Brian Windhorst, but I'll be honest, the 4 main people I'll listen to about actual Mav stuff that I can trust spot on: Mark Stein, McMahon, Shams, and I trust Brad Townsend when it comes to news. There's like around this time of the year, man, there's so many insiders and stuff that just relate. I can't.
I'm messy. Nah, but no, you're right. You're right. A lot of people, and look, I'll be the first to say it. I'm not an insider. I have people that tell me things, but I'm not an insider.
Shout out to All Things Mavs though. He has been dropping some good stuff lately. He reported Jay Triano, was it? I think he reported Jay Triano got the assistant job. But yeah, I mean, about the big time stuff, like the mutual interest. Any coach is going to have interest when the New York Knicks has interest, especially with the kind of money they could offer. But there was no ever, if Mark Stein is not saying it, I don't believe it.
Yeah.
Stein is a god.
There was another report I saw where there was, a level of frustration from Jason Kidd on how the organization handled everything post Luka. And I totally understand where he's coming from because I'm the coach. You're the GM. Why do I have to answer questions about a trade I didn't make?
All right.
Why am like even the first press conference when we saw Jason Kidd and Nico was there for like 3 questions and walked out, and Jason Kidd's there like, what's up? I didn't make the trade, but what questions you know what I mean? Like, that was weird. And the fact that Nico, obviously, we didn't see him until like the end of the season. It's just crazy. And to what you said earlier, to anybody that thinks Jason Kidd wanted this or he knew about this, do you really think that Jason Kidd in the middle of the season wanted to change up his entire game plan and schemes?
Entirely.
And still expect to win? Now, I will say, Jason Kidd probably was getting annoyed with Luka. There was probably some degree where he was like, Luka, why won't you do this? Or why are you doing this? Like, remember when Luka was like screaming at Jason Kidd in the finals to like call, to review a play? Like,
I was at the game. I was at the game, 3rd row. Guess who I was sitting next to?
Who?
Sasa Doncic.
It's like, bro, get your son. He's flipping out. But anyway, yeah. So it's like, I believe that, no relationship is perfect. Even though Kyrie and Jason Kidd have a great relationship, I'm sure there's moments where they get kind of, they go at it. But I wouldn't say that between Luka and Jason Kidd it ever got to the point where I want you gone. Why? You're my best player, and I built everything around you. Why would I just want you gone in the middle of a season when everyone's injured? That makes no sense. If this was any other coach, bro, that's awesome. That's dope, bro. That's dope. That's awesome. I heard his dad's like chill as hell.
Bro, nicest human being ever.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like, it doesn't make sense because that makes his job so much harder. And if it was any other coach, they probably would have got fired. Yeah. Hey, we traded Luka. Why are we losing? Why are we making the playoffs? You traded Luka. All of our players are hurt. Doesn't matter. Get fired. Think about it. I mean, how many coaches got fired after the playoffs or after the season ended? We just saw the Knicks fired Tom Thibodeau, the most successful head coach of the Knicks in the last 25 years.
Yep. I mean,
so anyway, anybody that believes that Jason Kidd like wanted this or he knew about this the whole time, I believe that they told him at the last minute. I believe that. But even then, it's like, what can Jason Kidd do?
Yeah.
He's a coach.
And it's just, I mean, all the injuries that the Mavs had to deal with. I do think people are going to have really high expectations for the start of next season.
Yeah.
And I get it. That's a normal fan. But at the same time, Derek Lively and Daniel Gafford. Actually, I'll say Derek Lively. Daniel Gafford looked really solid in those minutes with Anthony Davis on the floor. Derek Lively is going to have to get used to playing with Anthony Davis. The spacing is really different.
Yeah.
Please, for the love of God, Jason Kidd, Sean Sweeney, let my man shoot corner threes this year. I'm begging you.
Yes. And what you said, you hit the nail on the head, man. Like Gafford and AD is fine. Like they kind of know where to be. Lively, and I do think it's because Gafford is a smaller center. Like I think that's why the spacing works. But with Lively, I think it's just from what he's used to being in his positioning, it conflicts with AD and what he's used to positioning wise. But to your point, if we allow Lively to shoot threes, that spaces the floor. And then we can see Lively hit threes. Like every three would be a highlight to me. I don't care if it's middle of the season. He's already hit like 40. Cool, hit 41. Going crazy. Lively threes in the finals. I was going crazy. I was like, first play of the game? You gonna do that? All right, cool. All right. So yeah, I think that fixes a lot because AD and Gafford on the floor look a lot better than Lively and AD. Yeah. Lively looks like he's unsure of where he needs to be when he's on the floor with AD.
Do you remember Mavs Grizzlies preseason last year when Lively went up the court himself, like peak Giannis?
Yeah.
And did a spin move into the lay. Oh,
beautiful.
That's not what I'm asking for, but I do think if you put him in the corner for someplace, he's a capable shooter. Obviously, it's going to take a season or two to get used to, and I'm not making a pure analogy off this, just a similar comparison, but like look at the slow leaps that Evan Mobley took with his shooting. It didn't just happen overnight, and Evan Mobley's a better 4 than 5. Lively's a better 5 than 4. But I'm just saying it's possible. It can happen. I mean, we've seen him shoot in pregame, obviously very different than in-game.
Yeah.
But the potential's there.
Oh, for sure. For sure. I think Evan Mobley's a really good example. I remember his rookie year, Scotty Barnes won rookie of the year, but a lot of people but Evan Mobley is like, yeah, but Evan Mobley, his like rookie and even like his third year looked kind of rocky, kind of got forgotten about, but obviously the team knew what they were doing. They kept working with him, and he didn't win Defensive Player of the Year. Did he?
Who?
Mobley? Did he win D-Boy? Or was he just old? Yeah. So obviously they knew what they were doing with Evan Mobley. So if we know what we're doing with Lively, I believe that centers in today's NBA take a while. So I think we're fine with Lively. The real issue is keeping him healthy for more than 50 games.
So. That's why you can't. I mean, I think Stein harped on it a little bit. That's why you can't trade Gafford yet.
Yeah. Like, no disrespect to Dwight Powell, but if you trade Gafford and whatever,
Kai Jones. I
like Kai Jones. Okay, I like Kai Jones. The Bahamian Beast was amazing.
Bro, he can't play defense.
But the thing is, you have a center rotation of Kai Jones, Derek Lively, and Dwight Powell. I'd much rather have a center rotation of I was about to say Dwight Powell, Daniel Gafford, Derek Lively, and maybe Kai Jones. Yeah. And there's no disrespect to Dwight Powell, but like those three are obviously better than Dwight Powell. So if you can, in any scenario, not have to rely on Dwight Powell, you're fine. Now, break glass in case of emergency, Dwight Powell. Sure, I'm not worried about that. But like, you're part of my rotation, Dwight Powell. What are we doing? And then of course, let me not forget, there will be some times where AD closes at the 5. Then you may not even need Kai Jones, although I'm sure a lot of people love to have him back. I did enjoy seeing him, but we already have too many forwards. And
I think we're gonna see AD close at the 5 a lot more than people expect.
Yeah,
I really do.
Mm-hmm. Really, because unfortunately, Gafford closing games is iffy. Lively, at least from what I saw last year, would get in foul trouble early in a lot of games. So putting AD at the 5 will allow you to put PG at the 4, put Cooper at the 3, Clay at the 2, Kyrie at the 1. That is an amazing lineup to close up a game with. And that's not even your starting 5, probably. So it's like, I don't know. I like it.
That's the thing I like, too, about this Mavericks team. I don't think we'll see Clay, like, in the playoffs. I think he'll close majority of the games. Regular season, I don't think we'll see Clay close every time. We didn't see it last year when the Mavs were healthy. There's going to be times where they need a secondary handler on the floor, and Najee's closing games, or Max Christie, or you need a point of attack defender, Caleb Martin.
Yep.
Who you want traded?
Look, I have gone back and forth on Caleb Martin, probably because we have the same last name, but like, regardless. But there can only be one Martin in Dallas. But anyway, I do like him. He plays great defense. He really does. I am a defense first type of player. That's how I was when I was playing when I was younger. That's how I grew into like the way I look at basketball as an adult. I really favor defense. And That's what Derrick Jones Jr. had. That's what Caleb Martin has. That's what Najee Marshall has. PJ. So like those are the players that I really like the most. Yep. So Caleb Martin, I knew what we're getting with the defense. It's just the offense. I don't care. You don't have to score. But that $9 million contract is pretty nice when you need to package players for a trade.
Sure.
You know, he just got here, so you technically aren't a part of our core, right? Like Max Christie's still young, so I'm sure they don't want to trade him away just yet. They already put out a report that PJ and Gafford, they're not thinking about trading him, but obviously anything can change, right? And one of them could be traded, but as of right now, they're not really
the preference is to keep both.
Yeah, they want to they want to keep both and not have to trade them, and that's good. But with Caleb Martin is like, again, $9 million contract is pretty team friendly. I could package that. I could package that up with Jaden Hardy, who he's making what, $6 million a year. Cool, we're at $15 million. You could get someone decent.
Jaden Hardy, bro. I can't. That's just like I'm not even gonna get into a rant. Okay. We just a few days ago got the release of what the Mavericks new City Edition jerseys should be looking like. What's your thoughts? I'm going to share the screen. I think this is similar to the Trinity River jerseys where people are going to hate on them right now. And I think when we see them in person, they'll look good. Obviously, this isn't the official jersey. I'm sure there will be minor changes, but out of 10, I would give this. I'm being a non-biased Mavs fan. I'll give it a 7.
I have to be like non-biased. That's hard.
Yep.
Can I be slightly biased? Shout out to slightly biased, but
heal up slightly.
Yeah, heal up, big dog. I don't even like remember when that happened. I was just on Twitter one day and I see my man in the hospital. Somebody's foot or ankle.
Ankle. I think he broke his ankle.
Had to get surgery. Like, holy hell. But not yet. Rest up, bro. But I will give this an 8, maybe even like 7 to 8 for this one. I actually really do like this style. Like, I may get my Cooper Flag jersey like this. I'm being so serious. The only reason why I want it rated higher is it's gray, and if that was like black, fire.
Yeah.
Fire. The gray's fine, but the black would have made it like the blue and the silver kind of pop more. But I'm definitely getting this jersey for sure.
Really?
Yeah, I like it.
I mean,
I'm a fan of it. I mean, I have 2 of the same style jerseys for my Kyrie and PJ, like, and that's what I like, right? So
I like those. Yeah, I like those. Maybe I'll get my Najee one in that.
Jerseys. I'm not a fan of her white jerseys, bro. I don't know why.
Sounds a little.
No, it's not because of that. It's because I think it's got that silver squiggly things on it. I don't like that. Fine. Yeah. I don't know. It doesn't look good to me. But yeah, no, I like it. It's better than like that one that we had that was like graffiti Mavs, whatever that was. Hated that. I know the green and blue is kind of like our historical thing. They don't go together. Those 2 colors don't go together. I don't like it.
Really?
The green, like I probably sound like the worst Mavs fan right now. I never liked the green. Never did. It does, to me, it didn't make sense. And I know I'm probably going to lose half my subscriber base for saying that. Didn't like it. Never did.
It's a hot take.
Hey, we all have a bad take. And if that's my worst take ever, so be it.
It's better than Stephen A's best take.
Stephen A. Smith?
Yeah.
Listen. I once wanted to be like Stephen A. Smith. And then I got older and realized this man just talks. He ain't really saying nothing. He just talks.
I would take the paycheck just to talk.
Look, just to touch on that real quick. I don't know if I could. Now, $100 million? Because I think that's what,
bro. I'm taking that paycheck and saying whatever they want me to say, bro.
Yeah, like I can't remember his actual contract. I don't think it's $100 million. I think it's like $10 million. I think, right? But regardless, like that's some pretty good money to just kind of go up there. But in the back of my head, I would constantly worry, like, do people think I'm credible? Do I still have credibility? Am I still respected because you're a reporter, but you act more like a TV personality for entertainment? You're hardly ever really talking about what's going on. You're just bringing up topics that are just fun to talk about, but not really what you need to talk. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and again, when you're making that kind of money, you're going to talk about what they tell you to talk about. right? You're going to say what they want you to say. So for me, it's like I like the creative freedom that I have. I like the fact that I am my own boss and that I don't get brownie points for saying certain things.
Do you read?
Yeah.
Yeah. He wrote a great book about himself, actually, called Straight Shooter. I read it last year. Really good.
I
About
never
his childhood and everything.
Yeah. I heard about it. It talks about like, because I think he went to like fashion school, like
Yep.
before he went to like journalism and everything. So yeah, no, he has a really good story. Like I'm not gonna
Crazy
say
upbringing. Crazy upbringing.
Yeah,
Wow.
I grew up in New York, bro, but you don't act like it. He just sounds like it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, not to hate on him, like he definitely had like his journey to where he is now. Commendable.
He earned it.
Yep.
Just a quick news piece for people watching the episode. The Dallas Mavericks will be playing a regular season game against the Detroit Pistons on November 1st in Mexico City. They did this, gosh, how many years ago? It was like that viral Luka moment with Blake Griffin when Luka spoke Spanish for like 30 seconds and Blake Griffin was like, hola.
Hola. Yeah, no, was that 2017?
No. He got drafted in 18.
He was drafted 18. Yeah, what am I saying? So I was 19 because it wasn't 20.
I think
it was 19.
I think you're right.
Had to be.
Okay, so we do have I posted on Twitter. I'm pulling them up right now. Little mailbag dump. We're gonna get to some of the fans' questions on here.
Let's do it.
So shout out to Roni. He asked like 20 questions on here. That's pretty wild. How do you think this Dallas team adding Cooper Flag matches with OKC?
Well, good, very good. Like
better than before.
Yeah, and that's no shade. We're not sending a shot to nobody, but it is better, because obviously you have PJ, OKC killer. Cool. He's going to do PJ things. We also have AD, who cannot be stopped by anybody on that team. Great. You have Kyrie, who will be the most skilled player on the floor at all times. And now you got Cooper Flag. So you've got a lot of options on offense as well as just an amazing defense where good luck trying to score in the paint. You're going to have to shoot the ball the entire night. Live or die by it. Because if like who on the Thunder can score on AD? Chet, Hartenstein, J Dub or J Will, whoever's name is, or whichever one it is. No, right? They are still smaller team still, right? And then we got Gafford and Lively. We saw what Chet and Lively were doing last season, playing tag in the playoffs, right? Running around trying to get a foul. And then
it's actually so funny.
Yeah, so in no disrespect to OKC, but adding Cooper Flag, like what is their answer? You got to worry about our bigs, Gafford or Lively. You got to worry about AD, PJ, Kyrie, and now Cooper. How are you going to handle that?
I agree.
So we match up very well. Now it's more than just how it looks like on paper. It has to work in practice. So making sure Jason Kidd has him coached up well, making sure that Cooper Flag, again, he'll be a very raw rookie. We don't know until we see it how well his rookie year will pan out. But we do know he has the skills and the ability to be a great player. We just don't know what that looks like right now.
I agree. Next question.
Mm-hmm.
If you could vote one player off the team, who would it be? And don't say Dwight Powell was in it.
Who would ever say Dwight Powell? That's a cardinal sin.
This is like the easiest Mavs question I have ever been asked in my life.
Super easy. Jaden Hardy.
Yeah. Not even close.
Horrible defense. And that's the main reason why. Horrible
defense.
If he's obviously going to be I'm going to say obviously, if he is still on the team this upcoming season,
I'd be shocked.
I will have a whiteboard in my background and I will mark every time he commits a foul that is a 4-point play or just an and one, because it happens so often. Every time he fouls and it's a shooting foul, they make it and it's an and one. It happens so often.
True. And the playmaking. I said on my last episode, I said if there was a way to convince Jaden Hardy to say you are not allowed to dribble the ball and you have to stay in the corner. I mean, the guy's a great catch and shoot player.
Yeah.
He can shoot.
He's not a point guard. He's not a point guard. He is a shooting guard. And I think that's all he really should be. Now, don't try to put him at the 3. Put him at the 1. He just brings the ball down and tries to score. Like, There's very few times I've seen Jaden Hardy try to set some stuff up and pass first. And when he does, it's fine. It's just not instinctually in him to do that. He's looking for his shot every time. And I think it's very deceiving. And I believe I was deceived by this. Since his rookie year, he's had moments where he only played 10 minutes. He got 10 points. Oh, he only played 13 minutes. Had 12 points. Dang, it's pretty good. So I really did think, okay, if we can give him consistent and average minutes, we could probably have a nice little score on our hands, akin to Tim Hardaway Jr. before the drop off, right? But I don't see it. He's just way too streaky. Up until December, he had from December to like halfway through January, he had like the best 3-point percentage in the league. That's great. What happened after? He got hurt and just and that was it. It just fell off, right?
Awful ankles. Awful.
And honestly, everybody had weak ankles last season. PJ had weak ankles all season long. Yeah, but we know why. But anyway, yeah, Jaden Hardy, I think sending him to somewhere like Portland would be great for him. I truly do believe that Portland would be a great fit for Jaden Hardy, for sure.
Portland or Brooklyn. I would love to watch a Jaden Hardy.
Well, you want him to go to Brooklyn so you get a first-round pick back.
Yeah.
See, that's why. Yeah.
I want it so bad.
Look, there's going to be a lot of crazy things happening. The dominoes are all stacking up, getting in place. When the first one falls, they all will fall.
I'm so just as an NBA fan, I'm so excited for this offseason. Yeah. It's going to be fun. But
it's going to remind me of that season when the Clippers made that trade for Paul George. That offseason was insane. There was so much happening. It was amazing.
This is a really interesting question. Do we think Cooper Flagg will have the same impact on the fans that Luka did?
No. Not right away. I'm not saying it can't happen, but right now I say no. And not personally. I'm not speaking personally, but I've been to many of the protests. I've been out there. I've talked to a lot of fans. I listen. If it happened in a different way, maybe. If Luka forced his way out and fans were upset and then we got Cooper, absolutely, because at that point, you're replacing Luka with somebody, right? But because we pretty much I'm going to say gave away, but we trade away Luka and now we got Cooper Flagg, fans probably don't want to, give him the same level of love because then they probably feel like, well, I'm kind of just forgetting about Luka. And I've seen a lot of emotional responses, and I'm not saying that they're valid or not, but just people feel how they feel. I think overwhelmingly, he may not be as, I'm not going to say accepted, but loved because people loved Luka. Named their kids after him. He has a day in Dallas named after him, right? I don't think that's in the cards for Cooper just yet, but I think that he can get there, and it starts with winning. Because Luka didn't come into the team rusty, needing to get, coached up and worked on and have to spend time in the G League and come back like Scoot Henderson did, right? No, from the jump, Luka showed us what a winning player looks like. He showed us what a champion looks like because he won overseas, right? So Luka, from day one, we fell in love because he was that good. Cooper he has to. I don't want to put too much on it, but he's got to be better than what Luka was his rookie year. I don't know. I'm going to embrace him with open arms because this has never happened to us before. We've never got the number one pick. So I'm excited about it. But how the fans feel, I don't know, man. I see what they say on Twitter and online, but who knows? It's weird. It's weird. I can't really call it.
I think, yeah. Sort of piggyback off of what you said. I think he's going to have to prove himself before he gets that kind of appreciation. Definitely capable of it. I think, Mavs fans dedicate their fandom to people that they think are going to be a franchise player and never leave the city. The Dirks, the should have, could have, would have, Luka. So we'll have to see if Flagg is like that. And look, we won't know that until like another 5 to 10 years. So it's it's a tricky question, but it's an interesting one. Okay. Last segment of the episode. Very, very interesting mock trade. Probably, if I'm being honest, my favorite mock trade I have seen this offseason so far.
Ain't no way.
And Liam Willerup, a writer for the Pelicans Sports Illustrated website. Pelicans. The Los Angeles Lakers receive Daniel Gafford and Caleb Martin. The New Orleans Pelicans receive Jared Vanderbilt, Dalton Connect, a Lakers 28 first, and the Mavericks 2030 second.
Okay.
The Dallas Mavericks receive Herb Jones and Gabe Vincent.
No. Hate it. I actually hate it. We actually get worse. So you get Herb Jones, right? I'm assuming you make more moves after this because now you have Najee Marshall.
This is a more moves trade. I think if you do this trade,
because you have PJ, Herb Jones, Najee Marshall, Cooper Flag, AD. That's your 4 and 5s or your 3 and 4s.
Herb at the 2.
Herb at the 2, sure. I mean, you definitely can. But
who's scoring on that team, by the way?
Who on that team scoring outside of AD and Cooper? Because Gabriel Vincent is not the same Gabriel Vincent from Miami. I need everybody to understand this. I've gotten in arguments about it because, Mavs need a point guard. Get Gabriel Vincent. Who? What was the last good game Gabriel Vincent had? And show me his stat line.
I don't know. He had some really good games for the Lakers.
When?
You want me to fact check?
You don't even know.
You want me to fact check you right now?
Right now. I got time.
Okay.
And while you're looking, I'll continue because I don't. And I could be proven wrong. I'll admit it if I'm wrong. I don't see anything special about Gabriel Vincent anymore. If it was Miami Gabe Vincent, different story. But we're giving up Caleb Martin, who is a great defender for us. We're giving up Daniel Gafford, a great defender, and he's amazing just at the rim, high field goal percentage. And yes, we're getting back Herb Jones. That's great. But now we have Gabe Vincent. Who's better, Gabe Vincent or Jaden Hardy? Because that's the conversation we have to have now.
Gabe Vincent.
Are you sure?
Yep. Okay. So the playoffs. I mean, yeah, he wasn't that good in the playoffs. I mean,
no.
if I'm being honest, though, I mean, it was hard for any guy off the Lakers bench to be good in the playoffs the way JJ Redick was.
Horrible coaches. Horrible.
I will say though, in the month of April, when the Lakers were barely losing, he shot 44% from 3 on 6 attempts, which is pretty good. I said this mock trade was my favorite and most interesting. That doesn't mean I'm doing it.
Look, I feel like
I just would love Herb, man. I
do too. And I feel like, unfortunately,
you have to give up Gafford.
I know, but you have to understand. Wing defenders like Herb Jones, wing defenders like PJ Washington, wing defenders like OG Anunoby are becoming a luxury now, a hot commodity. You don't think that there's other teams that can put a better package together than Caleb Martin and Gafford to get Herb Jones, especially in this mock trade? Are we sending New Orleans anything? Just a second round pick? They're getting the majority of what they're getting is coming from LA, which then that trade shows that we're helping teams more than what we're helping ourselves in that trade. The Lakers get a center, and they get a good defender in Caleb Martin that they can pair with Vanderbilt. The Pelicans are getting draft capital.
Vanderbilt gets traded to the Pelicans.
Okay, then cool. You got Caleb Martin and whoever else plays defense, and Dorian Finney-Smith, sure, whoever. The Pelicans are getting draft capital and Jared Vanderbilt and whoever else. And then we get Herb Jones, which I'm grateful for, and Gabriel Vincent. You can't give me Dalton?
I'll take Dalton. Dalton was going to the
Pelicans get Dalton and they have a lottery pick. They're what? They get more picks? And I get Gabe Vincent. Yeah, I get Herb Jones. I get Gabe Vincent.
What if?
Come on, man. Give me Jose Alvarado. Give me Jose. Give me
that's what I was going to say to you. What if that swapped out? I would have to run it in Fanspo to see if it worked. Yeah, but you do it?
It's a better trade. It's a better trade.
Would you do it?
I would think about it because every time someone mentions me, like the Mavericks trading Gafford, I stop listening. I'm like, nope, can't hear you. And we did this last time I was here too. Talk about trade Gafford. I can't listen to the rest of it now. I'm already hanging up the phone. If I'm Nico, you're like, hey man, you send me Gafford. Oh, what? I can't hear you. I already hung up.
Is this just because of Among Us?
No, it's not because of that. I promise you, it's not because of that. Trust me. I've always been a fan of Gafford.
I know.
And this is a little bit of Unk lore for those that don't know about me prior to the Mavericks Digest channel. I was working with Raptors Digest, and a lot of rumors, or at least for a lot of rumors around their center issues back in like 2020, 2021, I want to say, Gafford was a name that came up a lot as a player that they were interested in. And that's when I really looked at Gafford like, oh, wait a minute. He ain't that bad. He ain't that bad. I liked him. And every time the Mavericks played against the Wizards, Gafford was putting in work. And that was also because we had weak centers, obviously. But no, I like Gafford, the Gafford and PJ trade. That's my favorite little duo right there, those two.
Yeah, but, no, I agree. And people are going to think I hate Gaff because
you do. Just admit it, bro.
No,
and shout out to Knife Talk Mavs. Knife Talk Mavs be putting him in every trade scenario. Look, I got smoke for everybody that want to trade Gafford, I swear.
I love Gaff, the landlord. I show him love all the time, but look.
It sounds like you don't want to pay rent.
Rent is due.
Yes. Come on now.
Rent's due, Daniel.
Look, and then you trade just to poke more holes in that trade. We just talked about relying on Dwight Powell in your center lineup. And obviously, you do more trades after this.
Yeah,
you do more after
exactly.
But like, Gabe Vincent, GV, no. Nope. I'll hit a Pat Bev, say, hey, man, you want a veteran?
I would heavily consider it if Jose was swapped out.
What am I getting with Gabriel Vincent? Like, what am I even getting out of that?
He fits the 30s championship window.
All right.
By the way, just to clear this up, if I was a general manager of an NBA team, I wouldn't do this trade. I wouldn't. I like it just because of how much I love Herb Jones' game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm contemplating my sentence.
See, Herb is.
I would trade Daniel Gafford and a Colin Sexton deal. I would. I love Colin Sexton. I would, or a Kobe White. Either one. I wouldn't do it for Austin Reeves deal because, like you said, you're making.
I don't want to help the Lakers.
You don't want to help the Lakers, and also, I just don't see a Kyrie, Austin Reeves 1-2, clicking defensively in late game situations in the playoffs.
Give me Colin Sexton over Kobe White, and I would trade Gafford for Colin Sexton. He can create his own shot, he can create for others, and he plays hard defense. He doesn't give up. He like watching him play, like you could tell, like he cares a lot every single time. He plays a lot.
I think this is a short-term comment. I think if you got Kobe White this offseason, even with Kyrie being out, the Mavs could be like a top 4 seed in the West while Kyrie's out.
Yeah,
if Cooper Flag lives up to his potential.
Of course. And a lot of people point to how, like, for Kobe White at least, he's not really like a playmaker. Not really, but like he can score. He can't set up for others, but he can set up for himself. Okay, cool.
I think what's going to end up happening, though, is we see like a calm Lonzo trade. And I'd love it. I would love it.
Who in Lonzo?
I'm calm, like a calm trade. Like acquiring Lonzo. Yeah. I don't think we see a big time trade. I think.
Well, I did see. So before we recorded, I saw something how I think the Timberwolves are looking at Lonzo. They may have a better package, especially with not Nerlens. Wow, Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Heard there's a little bit of smoke around there. There's Naz Reid, so they've got their own roster that they have to think about. But at one point, I wanted to believe we were the only ones that really wanted Lonzo, so we could easily make that trade. But it started like we were gonna be in a bidding war. And like the last episode, I said, don't shoot yourself in the foot trying to make a trade. Don't give up too much just to win the trade.
Nico, please don't trade a first-round pick this offseason.
No. Please, bro. You know what's really crazy? We traded away a first-round pick to get PJ, but we didn't use this year's first-round pick. Like, we almost didn't get Cooper Flag if we used this year's pick to get PJ.
Wow. I didn't think
that. Charlotte would have had Cooper Flag.
So wait, you know what that makes me think? What if we ended up trading those 2 first to get Kuzma?
Oh, I'd be sick. I'd be sick.
What if those was also one? I mean, I don't know. We'll never know. But what if one of those was this year's draft pick? Wow. Oh my God. Thank God. I can't believe Nico almost did that.
The more you think about us getting this number 1 pick is crazy because because it wasn't just the PJ trade. There were other first round picks that we've
Yeah.
moved over the last like 2 seasons, but we didn't move this one. We got Cooper. We also had to beat the Bulls in a coin flip, and we did. The Bulls also had to hit a game winner at the end of the season, and they did. We also had to lose in the play-in tournament, and we did. Like, so many things had to happen. AD had to get hurt. Kyrie had to get hurt. Najee had to get sick. Like, so many weird things had to happen. But I think one of the crazy things is that of all the first round picks we were trading, we had to keep this one. And we did.
Last thing we're going to talk about. You posted a mock trade pretty recently, with the Portland Trailblazers receiving Klay Thompson and Caleb Martin for Anthony Simons. And I think this is more of a short-term win trade for the Mavericks, if I'm being honest. I see the vision with Anthony. Again, with all these mock trades that we've reviewed, you were spot on with Kobe. There's not a lot of players that can fit well with Kyrie on the floor if they want to close out games together. And Anthony Simons is a cone defensively. And I think that's the thing that I liked about Colin Sexton is that he plays such great defense that it would fit. Anthony, though, it intrigues me. But I just can't trade Klay Thompson because of the shooting in the playoffs, man. You trade Klay. I mean, I get Kyrie's a really good shooter. Who's your second best shooter after Kyrie?
Max Christie, probably. No, that trade wasn't like a, hey, this is what we need to do. It was more of, with all things considered, because we got the report the other day that the Dallas Mavericks have inquired about Anthony Simons, which means that they're interested, which means that they would have
insider report.
Quotes everywhere, right? Quotes everywhere. But I mean, if it's true, because teams inquire about a lot of different players.
Yeah.
You got to do due diligence. And if we're looking at Anthony Simons, then they should have some form of package in mind already if he was available for trade. And we also got the report that the Mavericks aren't trading Gafford or PJ. So, okay, cool. With all that in mind, who do we trade? Klay, Caleb Martin, the salaries match, whatever picks you want to include. But you sacrifice so much defense. Last season, at one point in the season, Anthony Simons had the lowest defensive box plus minus in the NBA. Yeah. Dead last. Yeah. That is horrible. Now, 19 points a game is pretty good. 4.8 assists, that's pretty good too. He averaged like 2 rebounds a game, but that's fine. We got people that can rebound. His shooting averages are below Kyrie's, but $27 million. He got a 4-year, $100 million contract at the age of like 23, bro. And I think that was when CJ McCollum had just got traded, so they needed to keep somebody there. Yeah. And again, probably just kicking the tires. It could just be hey, what it look like? I'm good. I think there's better options. And I even said it. I think Chris Paul is a great option for us.
I think so too, but I really think he ends up staying in LA.
Probably. Where you always want to be.
I would be cool with Tyus Jones. I don't know if he'll want to take a vet minimum deal. But...
Well, he didn't have. So Tyus Jones took a vet min last year in Phoenix.
He didn't have to.
He didn't have to, but he was doing it to hopefully play for a bigger contract next year. And no fault to him, he didn't really do that. The team, I think he got benched the second half of the season. They didn't have a good season overall as a team. So obviously he didn't really show that he could get a big contract or he could play for a big contract. So maybe this year he takes another vet minimum, but there will be teams interested in him for sure.
I agree. And if the Blazers do this trade, they really are. They're putting their full trust in Scoot and Shaden.
And whoever they draft, because they also have lottery picks this year too.
They do.
So, and let's say they do this because they look at Klay as someone that can be a good shooting mentor or just have that veteran in the locker room. You got Caleb Martin, who's a defender. So, and Klay is still a good defender in his own right. So they get better defensively while we get just horrible. The defense is horrible.
Yeah.
So that's why you don't do it.
It will be interesting, man. But again, I appreciate you for coming on the show, Long.
Yeah, look here, yo, young whippersnapper. I might be your senior, but let me tell you something. While you were too busy growing up watching LeBron James fail in the finals, you know who I was watching? I was watching the Celtics, led by Bill Russell, winning 11 championships.
Wow.
Yeah. So you put some respect on my name. I've witnessed real hoops. Yeah, LeBron is your false goat. Everybody from my era knows it was Wilt the Stilt.
Wow.
Right. Yeah. Bob Cousy and them. Joe Dumars.
MJ's going to be mad watching this.
MJ couldn't hold Magic Johnson's jockstrap. Isaiah Thomas owns Michael Jordan. Okay.
Okay.
Boy. Now.
Oh boy.
Let me get a little serious now, because everybody want to say MJ the GOAT. They say, oh, he got over the Bad Boys Pistons. Oh, he's so great. But you don't give the Bad Boys Pistons credit for stopping them? The only team to really stop them? Stop it. Come on now. The Pistons made Jordan.
Whoa.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Adversity makes you stronger.
Of course.
Hey, Bad Boys Pistons, that was adversity. Come on.
It's true.
Just like when Kobe lost to the Celtics, or when Dirk lost to the Heat. Come on.
Or LeBron lost to the Mavs.
Or when LeBron lost to San Antonio. Or when LeBron lost to the Nuggets. Or when LeBron lost to the Celtics. Or when LeBron lost to the Warriors. A lot of losses. Just wait for him to grow from that adversity, you know.
LeBron will be in the league for another 30 years.
Look. I don't know.
MFFL Nation, I appreciate you guys for tuning in to episode 5. Be sure to stay tuned in. Have some special guests coming on next week. We got Riv from Pick a Side, Noah Weber, Mavs reporter.
Oh, that's my guy.
Yeah, okay. So we have some good people coming on next week. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and be sure to head over to Mavericks Digest YouTube page as well. Follow him on X. Shout out to my guy. Appreciate you for coming on, brother.
Of course, man. Anytime.
I'll catch y'all guys.